Okay, you saw the title, you know what we're going to talk about. But hear me out. This video, I promise you, has a happy ending, so watch all the way through. So I've read quite a lot of manga over the last few years, and I gotta say, sometimes it feels like the medium is overly fascinated with necromancers.
Top 10 best necromancer manhwa that you absolutely must read. Number 1.
I mean, it really likes necromancers for some reason or other. There's a ton of stories that are either about necromancy and necromancers or grant their protagonist the ability to wield the macabre to some extent. And I gotta say, I love that shit. Necromancers are one of my favorite classes in all RPGs, and I've been a fan of necromancer protagonist ever since Overlord. But you know what? I'm starting to think that people don't actually understand the basics of necromancer power fantasy. First of all, let's talk about one of the most common things. Protagonists who have no business being necromancers, becoming necromancers, or having some sort of necromancer abilities. For example, the hero Davy. What a stupid fucking name. No offense if your name is Davy. The protagonist of the max level hero has returned. His mom died, rip, and he also spent 6 years in a comatose state learning from the greatest heroes of all time, among which there were also necromancers. And you know what? It actually doesn't really go anywhere. So, a better example. Leveling with the Gods. This is a very good manga about a man who fought against the outer gods hand in hand with the heroes and gods of humanity, and was then sent back in time to prevent the end of the world, blah 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 blah. He uses the things he learned from his divine companions to become stronger, and in addition to that, he then also acquires great necromancer abilities thanks to an item and then a title. He doesn't heavily rely on them, but they do become a great part of his overpowered player kit. There are many such examples where the protagonist seemingly has to have some sort of necromancer abilities when they don't actually need to. I mean, even Grid from Overgeared at some point got 2 undead underlings. Another common trope is when the protagonist starts with the necromancer class or some sort of variation of that. But it's not really important beyond the first few chapters. A classic case of that is Boundless Necromancer, where the protagonist's core ability is necromancy, but he doesn't use it for summoning the undead. He can only use it to sup the stats from his dead enemies. Oh, there's also this manhwa called Maxed Strength Necromancer. Do I need to say more, or do you get what that's all about? All in all, it looks like there are more and more series that are less about necromancy being the magic of the smart and cunning, and a lot more about it being something to be thrown in the mix with swordsmanship and martial arts. Why? Well, I don't know. Solo Leveling is by no means the first manhwa to introduce the overpowered necromancer protagonist, but it has committed what is, in my mind, a cardinal sin. It has shown that necromancers also can throw hands.
Let's throw hands.
And my god, was it a convincing point for a knife-based necromancer build. Solo Leveling is a fantastic action spectacle that oozes edge and charisma, despite how shallow its writing can be at times. It's an epic story with some of the greatest fights that are so good that you don't even have to watch the anime adaptation to see it animated. That's how good the art Solo Leveling is. Now, let's be honest, the ending is kinda shit. But it gets the job done, so I'll give it a pass, and the right to get there makes up for it tenfold. But when I see it placed number 1 on yet another best necromancer manga and manhwa list, I want to throw hands. Okay, I get it. Alex Lee said, "Arise, you got hard, jizzed your pants, you can't think straight at the moment." But, I hate to say it, but Sung Jin-woo is a battle summoner, a magic swordsman or anyone else, but not a true necromancer. He prefers to throw hands by himself for a good chunk of the story and doesn't rely on his summons if he doesn't really need to. And, you know, it's totally fine. Solo Leveling is one of the best action series out there, but everyone saw what it did, and now Solo Leveling and its huge success caused a huge wave comparable to that of the initial release of SAO. Now there are a lot more series about necromancers which I've been a fan of ever since Overlord, but every time I see one, it looks kinda familiar. Okay, Solo Necromancy isn't really like Solo Leveling. The protagonist this time is a true necromancer, mostly relying on his summons, but oh no! The mist! The glowing eye! Curse you, Solo Leveling! Boundless Necromancer? Well, I suppose its main inspiration was the tutorial is too hard. It has the same structure, the same premise. But hey, why is it called different in Russian? Oh, I wonder what is the Korean name for the... Oh my god, it's just Boundless Solo Leveling! Calm down. Calm down. He can't get to you if you go to China. I wonder what this manhwa Sealed Divine Throne is all about. Oh, the main character is not a necromancer, but he's a paladin. What a relief! I could use a paladin story right now. Wait. How the fuck are you trying to turn this goof into a necromancer? He literally has angel wings, you morons! I feel like I'm in some wicked solo leveling loop, imprisoned here by Song Joong-woo himself. Why do I see his handsome badass face everywhere I go? It doesn't make sense. The gates, the players, the necromancy, the towers, the returners, all these things were there even before solo leveling popped off. So why? Why does it live rent-free in my head? Because it's fucking good. God damn it! The more I think about it, it wasn't really solo leveling that actually kinda ruined necromancers for me. It's just that I'm now noticing some of the patterns more often and have become more demanding of the series that I read because of it. Not every title with a necromancer protagonist has to be a solo leveling ripoff. Just like not every modern isekai is just a copy of Mushoku Tensei or ReZero. Are there more necromancer brawlers nowadays? Most certainly, but there are also many good classic necromancer stories out there. Kill the Hero, Solo Necromancer, Soul Station Necromancer, the Genius Summoner of the Necromancer Academy, and so on and so forth. So like, what's the point of this whole video then, huh? Enjoy the things you want to enjoy. Most stories are inherently formulaic and cliched, but we still read them because they are fun and make us forget about our often boring lives. And when a title so good you don't want it to end pops up, is it a crime to start looking for more of the same? Solo leveling didn't ruin anything, not even necromancers for that matter, but it isn't the greatest literary achievement either. Read Dostoevsky for that matter if you want the real deep stuff, but that's alright. Now that it finally received an anime adaptation, the only thing I'm worried about is how many more people will come out saying solo leveling ruined anime, or manhwa, or something else entirely. Oh, I guess that was the point of the video.